2024 is gonna be a rough year for woke entertainment. And in that respect, if no other, it's gonna be a good year for the rest of us. Oh boy, again, 2024. God help me. It's gonna be a year and a half, and that's for sure. So, on the heels of what we talked about just literally a couple days ago, with 2,000 jobs disappearing in the gaming sector, Disney studio Pixar is now announcing that it's going to be doing a round of mass layoffs as well. The current rumor is as high as 20% potentially, which would put the studio under 1,000 people. Now, Pixar has apparently stated that this is a bit high and that they don't know exactly how many people are going to be fired. It's probably going to be less, it could even potentially be more over the course of the year. This also comes a couple of days after Amazon announces that it's also cutting a ton of jobs at Amazon Prime Studios. And, well, is this a surprise in the slightest? No, it isn't. The mass firings were inevitable in this field as it was in the gaming industry. And it is all directly can be brought back to diversity, equity, and inclusion. Wokeist garbage, in other words. You are selling a product that nobody actually wants. Thus, you're not going to be able to sell the product. And now that the investment money has dried up, these companies are nothing more than money pits. Now, for several years, the companies were still willing to pour money into the money pits for, well, influence, in essence. See, a large part of the reasons why Disney is doing this, they've stated, is to try and make themselves leaner and nimbler for the streaming service future. And there's the interesting thing. See, this is in essence an attempt of Disney to move forward from their old release system and into streaming, which has for the longest time seemed to be the obvious future. But the question is beginning to arise whether or not that is actually true, as streaming is beginning to cannibalize itself. Disney has been willing to pay the upkeep cost, the constant losses, to move into streaming, to start becoming competitive, to produce all of the dozens of shows and television series and programming and movies they need to try and break in there. Now, they've all been flops, which is not a very good way to break in, and which is also why Disney fired 2 of its key executives in Pixar last year, along with another 100-odd employees, if memory serves. But let's say that all of these sacrifices is to get into streaming, which appears to be it, right? Is streaming truly the future, or has it already been burned to the ground? Because we are seeing a bit of a salted earth tactic here from the left, where they are creating stuff of an ever-increasing garbage quality, it seems, in, well, a salt to the earth, burn it to the ground strategy, almost. As if they're trying to actively destroy everything so that nobody can move back in and go like, oh hey, I used to like this thing. Well, we're starting to see it with Star Wars as well, where despite the incredible unpopularity of Rey, they're making another series around her. Ahsoka is getting a second season, despite doing terribly, despite doing worse than Andor, which was already a quote-unquote chasing the audience. Well, the only sense it makes is if they're trying to invest for the future, right? Okay. There was a recent report released by the European Union, Satan itself. Only Satan 2, mini Satan in the larger sphere of things, underneath the World Economic Forum, which stated that piracy was on the rise again. See, piracy has actually been on a severe decline for a very long time because it's been easier to get entertainment by paying for it, particularly under COVID, when everyone was locked up in the houses. See, there's been a lot of complaint from the entertainment industry, and Games Workshop as well, incidentally, that COVID was, oh my god, COVID was the worst thing ever. Actually, for video gaming, for television, for hobbies, COVID was a boom era. With everyone locked in their houses, it was absolute party time for these companies. It sucked for literally everybody else, but for them, it was a golden time. And piracy plummeted during it because people didn't want to bother sitting around figuring out how to get a torrent. They just want to run their credit card number through Netflix and get the entertainment. The problem is, it's not quite that simple anymore. You can't simply just enter your little PIN card there, and there it is! The TV shows, the movies, everything you want, it's right there. Nope. Now you go like, okay, I want to watch this show, right? Let's Google it. That's available on HBO. Okay, let's sign up to HBO. Actually, you need the HBO special package to get that. Okay, how do I get that? And so on and so on. And then you're done with that show. Okay, now I want to watch this show. Well, that's on a different streaming service. Oh, God help me. Okay, sign up for that one. You want to watch the third show. Guess what? That's on a different service as well. As you've now got so many streaming services all trying to future-proof themselves by pumping out shows, the vast majority of which are absolute trash, that the market is being flooded with entertainment, which on the one hand is a good thing, but it also makes it very difficult to actually figure out what the hell you're going to subscribe to. And voila, comes torrenting in yet again. Oh, you want to watch that show? Well, here it is. You want to watch that show? Well, here it is as well. You want to just watch this episode? There you go. Suddenly, torrenting has actually become a lot easier again than streaming. Primarily because all of the companies want a piece of the streaming pie, and they are now cannibalizing their own audience. And furthermore, since all of these companies, like Disney Plus, are now moving in and competing for this block of viewers, which isn't changing or growing all that much, you gotta slice it into all of these little parts, which makes every last little part less profitable, and so you need to raise prices. Or do like Amazon did recently, for example, introducing ads. They didn't introduce a free option with ads, no, they introduced options or ads to the service you already had, and then gave you the option of paying another $3 to skip it. Oh, yeah, that'll really keep people coming back, no doubt. Disney Plus has been increasing prices, everyone's experiencing with advertisement tiers, and as this drives away more customers, the block will grow smaller, the profits will go smaller, and what will the companies do? They'll add in more monetization features, more ads, until eventually this becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, and we're back to cable television again, with 5 million channels all loaded down with advertisement. Unironically, the entertainment industry has managed to bring back its biggest boogeyman from the brink of death, which is quite impressive and will of course only hasten the decline of these companies. If Pixar already is a money hole, not able to pay for itself, how much worse is it gonna be when people go like, I cannot be bothered. I want this one show. I don't want to watch Ahsoka. I don't want to watch Obi-Wan Kenobi. I don't want to watch any of this. So I'm just going to torrent it. I am literally going to enter it into Google with the torrent tag next to it, and voila, 1,000,000 times easier and cheaper. This is only the beginning of the end. Like, the train has already left the tracks. We're in mid-air now. We're beginning to roll down the hill. And the only question really is who's going to be surviving the crash, battered, bloodied, bruised, and with countless shards of glass stuck in their skin, no doubt, but still alive. My money, honestly, is on Netflix, because Netflix already started cutting their diversity hires quite some time ago, stating that if you're not here to make entertainment, you're not here to be a Netflix employee. As this is also one of the things, right? One might think, especially when BlackRock fires like 3% of their employees, that the first people to go would be the ESG people, because BlackRock knows where its money is actually getting lost, it's ESG. But a large portion of these people got into the company via the HR departments, via hiring practices, and trying to get rid of those hiring practices are going to be very difficult. In fact, in most cases, you're probably going to be seeing these miniature Hitler tyrants within the company going, alright, we need to cut jobs, do we? Alright, well, I'm pretty sure there's some white people over there that don't meet diversity quotas. I wonder where we'll start cutting. I wonder indeed. Incidentally, that was the only department that was still actually turning a profit, as it turns out. I think that the best chance here is that this will merely accelerate long before it actually starts breaking, and I predict we are going to be seeing a lot more cuts throughout the year. I'm also really looking forward to seeing what Amazon produces in terms of the Rings of Power next. Because I know they got a lot of angry phone calls over the first season, so unless they've done something truly magical with the second one, which will impress me, no doubt, I'm sure, either with its absolute lack of quality or a remarkable turnaround. I mean, pigs could start flying tomorrow, there's no reason they couldn't. I mean, come on. Freak biological magistical mysteries, miracles, I don't even know what to call it. Could happen, not impossible. It's just exceedingly unlikely. And roughly percentage-wise as likely, I do believe. Amazon Studios will be lucky to survive the year, frankly. Now, Pixar is a bit more of an old-school and venerable organization. It's gonna live unless Disney itself goes under. And considering how hard the government of Florida is likely to start going on them now that Ted Cruz's hopes for the presidential office are waning rapidly, well, we'll see. I'm not ready to predict Disney's death just yet, but I do think it is a distinct possibility. Until next time, I've been Arch. Thank you all very much for watching, and I do hope to see you all again soon. Have a good day.